All right, y'all, let's get into it. Now, before we break down this latest drama, we gotta start with the basics. Who is Ilhan Omar? For those who don't know, she's a Democratic Congresswoman out of Minnesota and one of the first Muslim women elected to Congress. She's been making headlines for years, whether it's her progressive stances, her outspoken nature, or the way she calls out people on the other side of the aisle without hesitation. Basically, Ilhan Omar is not the type to bite her tongue. She's always in the mix, and whether you love her or hate her, you can't deny she's become one of the loudest voices in modern politics. Here's where things get heavy. Recently, Ilhan Omar made public comments about Charlie Kirk, the conservative commentator founder of Turning Point USA, criticizing some of the controversial statements he had made in the past. Of course, that by itself would stir up backlash. But then things took a tragic turn. Charlie Kirk was assassinated on September 10th, 2025, while speaking at an event at Utah Valley University. He was addressing a crowd when he was shot in the neck, and the suspect, Tyler James Robinson, was later charged with aggravated murder among other crimes. So now Ilhan Omar's criticisms of Kirk aren't just part of normal political sparring. They exist in the newfound context that Kirk is no longer alive and that changes how people respond. Suddenly, discussions around what he said, what she said, begin incorporating grief, outrage, accusations, blame, and a broader assessment of safety, free speech, and violence in public life.
Charlie Kirk over the last decade has advocated for those who disagree with him to come to his various gatherings and dialogue with him and debate with him. And in contrast, in an interview he had this week with Hassan, I think his name is, you said that those who disagree with you and may have a different worldview are, in your words, full of shit. So I'm just wondering which approach is better, to call upon those who disagree with you to come to open debate and dialogue, or to say that those who disagree with you and have a different worldview are full of shit.
So you must have selective hearing, sir, because I said that the people who were full of shit were the people who were saying that Kirk was civil. No, that's
not true.
The person who called for public execution of people he disagreed with is not civil. The person who said if you are a black woman you lack the ability to process thoughts is not civil. The person who said because I am Muslim I cannot be in this country because I want to destroy Western society is not civil. The person who said a 10-year-old should be forced to carry the child of her rapist is not civil. You and
And unsurprisingly, after Kirk's death, the reaction from the political right intensified, including Donald Trump, who has repeatedly taken shots at Ilhan Omar in the past. Supporters on the conservative side have framed her comments as part of what they see as a growing problem, that progressive voices are stoking division, or worse, inciting hostility. Some are demanding not just apologies, but serious consequences, impeachment, removal from office, even calls that she should be expelled from the country. The rhetoric has escalated. With Kirk's assassination, these calls become more volatile, as many on the right see Omar's criticisms as contributing to a climate of hostility. Whether or not that's fair, it's how many people are reacting. Trump has publicly expressed condolences over Kirk's death, but also used the moment to warn about political violence, criticizing what he views as a lack of accountability on the left. People are asking, is this about free speech? Or has free speech become a weapon to be used recklessly? And who wins in a moment like this? The person who speaks out or the person who's attacked?
I think she's terrible. I think she should be impeached. I think she's terrible. Is she originally from Somalia? Yes, sir. So how are they doing this? How's their government? Do they have a president? Do they have a council? Do they have anything? Do they have police? I love these people that come from a place with nothing, no anything, and then they tell us how to run our country. No, I think if she got censured, that's great. If she got impeached, that's even better. They impeached me twice for nothing. And they impeached me knowing the Republicans are on my side, so they knew it was just, but they impeached me twice. She should be impeached, and it should happen fast. What she says is out of line. Yeah, go ahead. Anybody?
Mr. President, who would you like to see? Mr. President, are you going to ask Brendan Carr to weigh in on other late-night hosts that you have said should be off the air?
Late-night host is on network television. There is a licensing. I'll give you an example. I read someplace that the networks were 97% against me. I got 97% negative, and yet I won easily. I won all 7 swing states, popular, but won everything. And if they're 97% against, they give me only bad publicity or press. I mean, they're getting a license. I would think maybe their license should be taken away. It will be up to Brendan Carr. I think Brendan Carr is outstanding. He's a patriot. He loves our country, and he's a tough guy. So we'll have to see. When you think about this, 97% of the stories are opposed to me, and yet I win easily the election. It's pretty amazing when you think of it. That shows they have no credibility.
This all feeds into a much larger picture. We are in a time of deep political polarization, where words aren't just words. They are seen as provocations, as potential justification for violence. That feeling of threat among both right and left is growing stronger. We see tragic events like this, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and they become symbols. They amplify fears. They push people to retreat into their tribes. For many, there's a question. Are we losing the space for disagreement that doesn't end in hatred, call-outs, or worse? On one side, there are those who believe criticism of someone's rhetoric is valid, necessary even, to hold people accountable. On the other, those same people are often immediately seen as enemies or instigators. When someone dies violently, especially for what many believe was a political act, the consequences ripple out. Political responses, legal responses, media responses. So, yeah, the country is divided, more than many of us probably want to admit. And with every event like this, the divide seems to deepen. The question is, what will it take to pull us back from the edge? I want to ask you, what do you think about Ilhan Omar's role here? Should her comments be seen differently now, after Kirk's death? And what responsibility do public figures have in shaping rhetoric that could escalate into violence? Drop your thoughts below. Let's talk about this. If you found this useful, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, because things are moving fast, and we need to try to keep up without losing our humanity.